Hey friends, thanks so much for coming back to the channel. As you know, we are in the middle of a quarantine for the COVID-19 outbreak, and I think there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of difficult situations out there, so I wanted to bring up a topic of discussion that honestly I haven't heard a lot about recently, and so I think it's an important one to bring up and just have kind of top of mind. And so let's talk about it. Stick around, it's coming right up. Alright, so first I wanted to acknowledge that this is definitely a difficult time, and it's a lot more difficult for some than others, and I totally understand that. I feel very deeply for those who have been affected by this virus, whether that is socially, whether that's economically and financially, whether that's with your own health, with the health of your loved ones, those who have suffered losses in so many ways. And so my heart reaches out to you, and I just hope that we can stay together and stay connected, because that's the only way that we're going to get through this. So I feel your pain, and I just hope that we can feel it together. And so anyway, I have been thinking a lot about some of the things that have happened recently, and it reminds me a lot of this idea that I have come across in reading and researching. Honestly, I have no credentials, you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not even like well read, so all of this is kind of from my thoughts of just hearing things over the years, of reading things over the years. There's a lot of things rattling around in my brain and with my experiences, so take this just as it is, and hopefully you can just find some way to apply it that will help you, but honestly, I'm nobody, so there's that disclaimer. The thing is, I feel like there is a really interesting kind of tug-of-war that we experience on a day-to-day basis, but especially right now as we have suddenly this huge kind of catastrophe on our hands. And there's these two sides. There's a scarcity mindset and there's an abundance mindset. And the scarcity mindset is very instinctual. It's very easily, people are easily drawn to it. It's very easy to fall into, become selfish, closed off, put up the defenses, because the scarcity mindset is all about self-preservation and competition. It's a way of thinking that there's not enough to go around, and so the people who are most talented, who are most wealthy and well-connected and well-known, they're going to be the ones that survive and are okay. And so those are the kinds of things that we're seeking for all the time with the scarcity mindset. We have to be the best. We have to smash everybody else down and make sure that we're the one that's rising, because there's just not enough. There's not enough resources, there's not enough jobs, there's not enough whatever. And so that it really increases the selfishness, it really increases the competition. On the other side, we have the abundance mindset. And the abundance mindset is the idea that you believe that there is enough to go around, that you can actually open up, you can even give of your own resources, and it will be okay, and you will have enough even by giving. And that's a scary thought, especially if you're in the scarcity mindset. The abundance mindset is way terrifying, and I totally get that, and it's very hard to choose that mindset. However, I just wanted to kind of give my experience with it, as I have attempted to focus on the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset, my self-preservation. I have noticed that somehow things work out when we extend ourselves to other people, when we give of ourselves or give of our resources. Somehow more resources are given to us. It's not always the same. It's not like a one-to-one exchange, like if I give X amount of dollars then I'll get that many back. It's not that at all. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying your needs will be met somehow. when you focus on the needs of others. And I don't know why or how it works, but I do know it works. If you've been following my story at all with this channel, you know that 2018 was when my world fell apart. I lost my job. I was diagnosed with MS. I was in a car accident, and I still feel the effects of that horrible collision. And I can tell you though, that as I have tried to extend myself to people, to find ways that I can still contribute, I've somehow been taken care of. And I know that's not the case for everybody. I know that things can get worse and things can get really bad, but I still believe that there's something about this idea of giving that helps you actually receive what you need. We've seen really bad examples of how the scarcity mindset hurts people, like with jobs, with the stores being empty of food and other important supplies that some people weren't able to get because they weren't fast enough, or they didn't have the money, whatever, for whatever reason. All of a sudden the people that were fast and went kind of in panic mode, they got what they needed and stocked up, and it killed the ability to let other people have what they need. And so we've seen that bad example just with looking at the grocery store shelves. And there's no it was all made up. There wasn't a supply, like the supply didn't actually go away and people were buying because the supply was going to go away. It went away because people were panicking, because people decided it was scarcity time, there wasn't going to be enough to go around, and therefore there wasn't enough to go around. But so that's just my opinion as far as what I'm observing, and it makes me nervous because that's not the way that we're going to get through this. We're not going to get through tough circumstances by going into scarcity mode, by going into self-preservation mode. We're going to get through this by going into the abundance mode and not take advantage of that abundance mode like maybe we have prior to this event. We had enough to go around and we were comfortable, and that's when these kinds of things kind of shake us up. But I believe that if we stay in the abundance mindset, things will work for our benefit. Maybe not in ways that we want. Maybe we still will lose jobs. Maybe we still will lose health, and so many other things will happen. Circumstances will always do whatever they want to do. We have no control over the circumstances, but we have control over our choices. We have control over how we're going to react. And as we're doing things to help ourselves stay safe, with following practices that have been recommended by legitimate doctors and legitimate sources, and still maintaining an abundance mindset, those are the things that we can do to help us get through this, and even get through this together. So my challenge for this video for you is to consider ways that you can switch into the abundance mindset right now. Consider ways that you can become more selfless and extend yourself either physically or virtually. Obviously stay safe, and do whatever it is to follow guidelines from the CDC and the World Health Organization and legitimate doctors. Stay safe, stay healthy, but how can you find ways to either provide hope for somebody else? Can you help virtually in any way? That's your challenge, to find out how you can apply this in your life. And just remember that you're not defined by your circumstances. You are defined by your choices. And so you can choose right now where you're going to go and how you're going to react to this crisis, for lack of a better word. there's a lot of pain out there, and there's a lot of opportunities for bad and good, and circumstances will always change, and we don't have control over that. It doesn't get better by just saying that you're happy or saying that things will work out, but it does feel different when you are choosing to actively change things that you can control. It does feel different when you decide that you're not going to be defined by the things that are outside of your control. So that's my hope, is that you can find some kind of solace at this time as you are extending yourself to help others and avoiding the scarcity mindset. So please be safe. I love you, and I will see you around on the next video. Thanks for watching.